Hey there, I'm the MadCatster. I'm glad to see you here. We've got to talk about, unfortunately, Catherine McBroom and the Ace family again because of some developments. I know a lot of you have probably already heard this, but I want to give you my opinion and my takes on the video Catherine posted last night when she went on a rant against Shyla Walker and some things that Shyla said that she actually then deleted, but were pretty inflammatory. You know, I don't know if what Shyla said is true, but we're going to talk about it. We're going to analyze Catherine's hypocrisy. So let's get into it. So I'm here, and Sybil the Enforcer is... Sybil, what are you doing? She went back to bed. So let's talk about this. So I'm sure a lot of you know the story. You know, Landon and McBroom, Austin's brother, and Shyla Walker, they were a couple. They had their own YouTube channel. They had a falling out. They had a baby daughter together named Solene. And they had a very bitter breakup. And there were accusations flying back and forth. She accused him of some stuff that, you know, we have to take her word for it. I wasn't there. Catherine McBroom certainly wasn't there, even though she seems to think that she's the final authority on those accusations, and we'll get to that in a minute. There was a big scene like last year where Shyla was hysterical because she suspected that the Mrs. McBroom, who's, you know, I think she still uses that name even though she's divorced from Austin's father, Nicole, she and Landon allegedly were conspiring to get custody of the baby, and Shyla had alleged that they were taking money out of her bank account because, you know, Landon is pretty much a deadbeat, in my opinion. And it sounded to me like she was the real moneymaker in the family. But they had a very contentious breakup. And so eventually the dust settled, and the arrangement was, you know, they have some kind of a custody arrangement, and they had to go to court over it. And Shyla had at some point taken a restraining order out against him that I suspect was rescinded. Otherwise, I don't think he'd be taking the child. One thing that she had asked was, please don't film my child. I don't want my child used to make money on YouTube. You know, and basically she said if the Ace family wants to exploit their 3 kids, that's fine for them. But please don't exploit my child. Okay? And he didn't listen to her. He continued to bring the child and continues to bring the child to get-togethers with the Ace family and Austin's parents. And she continues to show up in videos. So Austin apparently was like preparing for his big fight coming up, which, by the way, I haven't seen the new tickets go back on sale yet. I checked, but I have no idea what they're doing. It's coming up in a couple of weeks. Who knows? We'll talk about that at some other time. But apparently some of them went to watch him get ready and have a sparring match. And I guess Shyla saw that her daughter was shown on the video and she got really pissed off. So she said a bunch of inflammatory things. And she said that Catherine had a son through IVF because they wanted to make sure it was going to be a boy. And she said that, you know, the Ace family's broke. She said that Austin tried to have somebody taken out, another YouTuber who had made a video accusing him of some unsavory stuff with his father against a friend of his, that the YouTubers, and which never, I don't think ever came to anything as far as I know. It never developed into any kind of charge or accusation publicly. And just, you know, a bunch of things that Catherine just didn't like. So Catherine, for the first time in a while, I guess I could say, came and did this whole long video, and we're going to look at some parts of it, where she basically was trying to skewer Shyla and basically calling her a liar and all this other stuff. And so I'm going to play some parts of it for you here, and we're going to talk about some of these things she's saying and what a hypocrite she is, and why she's no authority to be dictating to others' morality. Okay, so let's look at this.
When she had said all these like negative, dark lies about my family, I was thinking about it and I was like, wow, like I actually pray for this person. Like I do silent prayers all the time.
So apparently Catherine prays for Shyla and sends her good vibes, which I kind of doubt that, but anyways. But I want to also say before I forget, One thing you won't hear Catherine refute is the fact that Shyla basically said that Austin's a cheater, and Catherine's well aware of it, and basically like they sort of have an open relationship, and so you will not hear Catherine try to deny the fact that Shyla's called Austin a cheater, although Catherine does address all the other things that Shyla said. So I thought that was very interesting, that she's not going to bother to deny that her husband's a cheater. So let's listen to what she had to say some more.
So to get straight to the point, the other night Austin went to the gym like he always does. He's in camp right now, so he's training for a fight, and he had a sparring. So he invited the whole family. His dad was there, our son was there, his friends. I couldn't make it because I had something going on, so I stayed home with the girls.
So Catherine's saying that Austin invited everybody to the sparring match, but the Catherine and the girls weren't there, so that's not really everybody. Which leads me to question the suitability of having a young child present where men are pummeling each other with their fists. You know, is that really an appropriate place for young children to be? I don't think that's a wholesome family activity. Do you?
So he was at the gym, he was making content like he always does, and he made this very innocent video of him kind of going towards our son and Shyla's daughter, Solene, who's his niece, Austin's niece, and she was kind of in the background. You couldn't really see her. She's kind of like to the side, and then he kind of focuses on our son, and very cute, like innocent video.
So Catherine's admitting that not only was Solene there, but Austin was making content and he filmed her. So she knows that Shyla has said publicly that, and I'm sure privately, that she doesn't want the child on film. So Catherine's trying to justify this innocent showing of her daughter on film when it's, you know, as a mother, she should be able to respect Shyla's wishes, because if somebody did something with her children that she didn't approve of, I'm sure she'd be the first person to raise holy hell. So clearly she doesn't respect Shyla enough to abide by what she wants for her daughter.
So Shyla, respectfully, being the hawk that she is, watching every single one of our stories and our videos and trying to find an opportunity to speak on our name and continuously disrespect us and slander us and say these really hurtful and untruthful things, she goes on the internet and starts to claim that my husband tried to kill somebody and that I had IVF treatment for my third pregnancy, which are all very untrue things. There's a couple more things that are just untrue. I don't even remember what she said.
There's a couple of other things and she doesn't remember what she said. Come on. She remembered those things pretty well enough. So, in other words, what she's saying is she's going to gloss over the fact that Shyla called her husband a cheater, and she's not even going to bother at this point. The accusation's been made by many people over time. She's not even going to bother to deny it anymore, is basically what I think she's saying.
So she claims that her daughter is being used for clout. All right, so let's discuss this. Shyla, I don't know if you know what clout is, okay? So there's a difference between clout and then family, right? So you got a family that's, you know, they're well known, they have a lot of eyes on them, and, you know, we started YouTube. We didn't know we were going to be as successful as we are. We did it with pure intentions. Everything happened so naturally and so pure and so real. I love my job. I love what I do. And you, Shyla, you jumped on the bandwagon, and that's what you started to do.
I mean, seriously, you know, the condescension from this woman is just mind-boggling, okay? Shyla, I don't know if you know what clout means, but there's a difference between clout and family. No, there's not. If you're filming that child for a video you're putting up as content to make money, and she just said previously in this spiel of hers that they make content for money, and you're showing her daughter, which you know she doesn't want, that is clout. That's not family. It's not like you're making a home movie, Catherine. You're using her daughter against her wishes as part of your money-making video. So don't try to gloss it over and talk down to Shyla like she's some ignorant person who doesn't know what she's talking about. Because you're a freaking hypocrite and you're deliberately trying to deflect what you know you've done is not right.
And you did it for many years, and all of a sudden when your relationship ended, when Landon broke up with you, you decided that because it wasn't in your favor anymore, that you were going to decide that, you know, your daughter is clout now, which doesn't make any sense.
So, again, she's so infuriating. So she claims that Shyla jumped on the bandwagon. Like what, the Ace family was the only people making YouTube videos? There were plenty of people like Shyla and Landon making videos. So Catherine, get over yourself, okay? You're not all that important, especially not today. Okay? And to sit there and say that because it went against her because she broke up with Landon, she's going to decide that she doesn't want her daughter to be clout. It's like, well, that's her prerogative, isn't it? She is the mother. Catherine, you're a mother. You have the right to make decisions that affect your children, right? Would you want somebody to come in and tell you, no, you don't know what's best for your children?
It's just, it is what it is. Like, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. If Celine is never a part of our family, if she's not at our parties and hanging out with our cousins and going to the beach with us and having a good time and growing up with us and learning and growing, then you would say 5 years from now that, oh, they never loved her, they never care, nobody cares.
So basically what Catherine's saying is, if Celine isn't going to be part of our money-making venture, then she can't be part of our family, or she's not going to be at our parties, or she's not going to see her cousins. So she's making like this veiled threat that like, well, if we can't go against what you want for your own child and film her and make money off of her appearances in our videos, which by the way is clout, then, you know, maybe she shouldn't be part of our family. It's like, you know, these people are just the worst. They are the worst people, in my opinion.
That's one of the reasons why we're so successful, is because we put family first. And that's been the kind of people that we've been and transmitted for a long time.
They're so successful because they put family first. Yes, they put family first and right up in front of the video camera so that they can make money off of their family and their children. So, you know, you can't equate a money-making business where you use your family to make money as being somehow this loving family situation. It's work. It's not just a family get-together.
It's the very opposite of clout. If anything, you're creating attention for clout.
Now she tries to turn it around and say, no, Shyla, you're the one creating attention for clout. But if you compare Catherine Austin's social media and their YouTube channel, and you look at Shyla's got barely any videos on her YouTube channel, even though she's got over 500,000 followers. So if she was using this for clout, wouldn't she be making videos about it and trying to monetize it like you do, Catherine? So how do you figure Shyla's using this for clout? No, she's speaking out, and the only place where you'll listen is in the public social media realm. Because clearly when she's told you this to your face, I'm assuming, or through family channels, I'm not talking, not YouTube channels, I mean through McBroom family channels, that she doesn't want this, you haven't listened to her. So now she's bringing it out publicly to try to maybe get you to listen, and you're still not listening to her.
So then you proceed and you say some lies, and you say that I had IVF treatment for my third child to have a boy, and that's 1000% not true. Where that came from, I don't get the purpose of it. I can't grasp it. Like, I'm sorry, I just don't know. But what I will say is I find it very disrespectful to women all around the world who literally cannot conceive a child on their own, and they have to do treatments like IVF, and I find that IVF is like, what a blessing to be able to have such a thing. And although I didn't go that route, it's just very odd to me that you would say something like that, like as if like, what are you trying to offend me? Like, that's like a bad thing.
So, you know, I don't know what their situation was in having their last child, and, you know, I don't think it's really anybody's business, frankly. But she's saying Shyla's said that they used IVF to make sure it was a boy, but Catherine is sort of twisting that to make it sound like Shyla's shaming people for using IVF, and that's not what she said at all. What she said was that they wanted to make sure that the third child was a boy since they had two girls, so they used IVF. She's not saying that IVF is this, like, trying to demonize IVF. Okay, so Catherine's got all that wrong.
And then you proceed and you say that Austin, my husband, has tried to kill somebody. And that really pissed me off.
So I, believe it or not, am going to agree with Catherine on this point. Accusing Austin of something like this, and I'm not even going to repeat it, without any evidence that I'm aware of, that's really inflammatory and really not cool. I don't think that was cool at all. She should not have said that unless she's got some kind of evidence to back it up. It's really, I think, was not an appropriate thing to say, and I side with Catherine on this one for a change.
I'm going to bring this one up, but you said you claim that our family is broke. So that's like one of like the famous like narratives that the internet loves to talk about.
Now you notice Catherine addresses the fact that Shyla says that they're broke, the Ace family's broke. And while Catherine sort of talks about that issue, she doesn't deny that they're strapped for cash. So I thought that was interesting.
I get that money is your number one motivator. It's all you talk about. It's all you think about. It's literally like it was all that your relationship was about. I get it that, towards the end, that's all you cared about.
Now, here I think she's being totally disingenuous when she said that all that Shyla thinks about is money. And I mean, as I was just saying previously, or a few minutes ago, obviously that's not her primary motivator, or she'd be, with all those followers that she has, she'd be putting up video content and trying to monetize everything. And she's not, from where I'm sitting, it doesn't look like Shyla's doing that. So, Catherine's wanted to talk about everything being about money, okay?
The truth is that if you don't understand what money truly is, you will never make money, because money is an energy exchange and it comes in like waves. Okay?
So this is another one of, I'll call it a Catherine-ism, that money is an energy exchange, people. So, if you don't have enough money, then you're not getting your energy from the right source, I guess. So that's pretty bizarre. Money is an energy exchange. No, it's not. Not as far as I've seen. Maybe in your mind it is, but, that's not, there's no mystical way of attracting more money. And I know there are people who think that you can, and I just think it's total BS.
And that's what we are. We are energy. So it's what you do with the money. It's how you get it. It's how you react. It's how you learn from it. And it's so far away, the narrative is so far away from who we are. And it's because we've given back so much and we do so much for people and we help people all the time.
Now, here's another crock of BS where Catherine says that they help people and, they're always helping people. It's like, no, you're always helping yourself from what I see, because everything that you do centers around bringing in a buck for the Ace family. So what is there charity work you're doing that I'm not aware of? Please let us all know, because you're keeping it pretty well hidden away from the public. But I don't see how you're giving back very much at all.
God didn't give me a voice to be complacent. And the truth is that, Shyla, you know that you've been carrying this lie about Landon being abusive, and you know that that's not true. And you got to let that go. You have an amazing father to your daughter, and you need to start, accepting that this is your reality and that you created it, because this is all done by you. And accept that, things didn't go how you wanted. And because it messed with your money and what you were doing, you got really upset. And that's why you created this false narrative. But I also know that there can be a lot of darkness to women. And some women take advantage of very innocent men. And they use their power to get what they want. And I think that it's very unfair what you've been doing to Landon. And you need to stop. Sorry, but your character has been shown for many years. And it's very obvious what kind of person you are. And for you to make a video and claim that you were abused, and for the whole character to go out the window, to be dismissed because you claim that you were being abused. Meanwhile, everybody knows that it's not true. You could see it, right? You're literally taking advantage of very vulnerable women who've literally been abused. You're diminishing a woman's abuse. You don't know what it's like to be in a kitchen, just doing dishes, and your husband walks in and slaps you across the face with a pan for no reason. You don't know how it feels to go through that.
Now, this is probably the worst of all the stuff that Catherine is saying in this video. To sit there and accuse Shyla of lying about what happened in her relationship with Landon, I think is reprehensible. Okay, she's sitting there saying that Shyla's lying about it and therefore she's diminishing, victims' realities, basically. And no, I think that's what Catherine's doing, because she's calling somebody who's said that she's a victim a liar. She's diminishing what Shyla claims is the truth. And Catherine makes it sound like she knows that what Shyla has said is untrue about Landon. I'm sorry, but I wasn't aware that Landon and Austin and Catherine and Shyla all lived together, so that Catherine was constantly watching what was transpiring between Landon and Shyla in their relationship. As far as I know, she has no freaking clue what went on when they weren't around her. So how does she know? What, because Landon told her so? I'm going to take that clown's word over what Shyla has to say? Because frankly, yeah, maybe Shyla, gets a little hyperbolic once in a while, but I don't think she's not credible. So, and I certainly, for somebody who wants to talk about lying, Catherine, we hear your house is getting foreclosed. No, it's not. When in fact it was. I mean, these people have failed to tell the truth a number of times. So for her to sit there and on something so serious accuse this person, Shyla, who went to court and felt the need to get a restraining order, because that's how serious she felt it was, to try to diminish that and say, oh, you're just making it up. That's blaming the victim or trying to discredit the victim is just disgusting, Catherine, and that's totally disgusting. And then to sit there and say, well, you don't know what it's like to have your husband come in while you're doing the dishes. And, she said earlier in the video, and I didn't play it here, but how she works to empower women. And here she's reducing women to a stereotype. The husband comes home from work and you're in the kitchen doing the dishes like a dutiful wife. It's like, for somebody who empowers women, that's kind of a sexist thing to say, first of all. But to say, you don't know what it's like to your husband to come home and you're doing the dishes and get hit across the face with a pan for no reason. It's like, well, first of all, do you know what it's like? You're talking like you know what it's like. Does Austin hate you with a pan? Because how the hell do you know what you're talking about? You don't know what it's like, as far as I know. So to sit there, and second of all, these kinds of things aren't always physical. I know from personal experience that verbal stuff like this is equally as harmful. So, Catherine, this is beneath even you to sit there and basically try to discredit the victim and try to call her credibility into question over your lazy ass brother-in-law, who, as far as I've seen, hasn't done any good in the world. And I know he's had cancer and everything, and I'm glad he's healthy and that he beat it. And certainly I never wish anybody ill health at all. But, aside from that, professionally, I don't see that he's made much contribution to the world. I don't see why he should be more credible just because he's your brother-in-law than Shyla, because I don't think you have any clue, unless you were around them 24 hours a day, what went on behind closed doors. You can't say that for a fact, so stop pretending like you're the authority on this.
Don't ever talk about my family ever again. I'm going to say it one last time. Stop talking about my family, my children, me, my husband. It's done. Stop talking about us.
So then she ends it by basically threatening Shyla. She doesn't say what the consequences will be, but it's still a threat when she says, don't talk about my family. What does she think? She's Will Smith at the Oscars? So all in all, I understand why Catherine wanted to make this video. Certainly, if somebody said those things about me, I'd want to respond to it. But I don't think that Catherine has taken the moral high ground and, shown us what a terrible person Shyla is. I think it's hard to take Catherine seriously on some of the things that she said in this video. And some of the things that she said, I think, are just, plain wrong and shameful. But anyways, that's the situation in the McBroom Shyla Walker Ace family mess that's going on right now. So let me know what you think down below. Do you think that, am I wrong? Is what Catherine and Austin are doing by including Solene in video when her mother doesn't want her to be there, is that just innocent and harmless? Or do you think they should respect what Shyla wants for her own daughter? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much to all of our supporters. You guys are the best. You make this so worth doing, and I appreciate all of your support. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next one.